In Skibidi Toilet, one of the things most fans are hyped about are fight scenes, especially those involving Titan-sized characters, like G-Toilet versus the Titan Trio in episode 73. There are two of these fights I want to break down, and the first one I'm going to be talking about in this video will be the injured TV Titan versus Astro Juggernaut in episode 77. This fight will be what I'll call an unfair fight. These are not to be mistaken with what I'll call one-sided fights, which are matchups where the winner is just extremely obvious. An example would be a normal cameraman versus Astro Detainer. I think it's pretty obvious that Astro Detainer wins here. And an example of an unfair fight would be Scientist versus the injured Titan duo in episode 67. The Titan duo here were weakened from the explosion in episode 65, where Scientist is at full power and has time to prepare for this fight. In this scenario here, the TV Titan is injured, whereas Juggernaut is at full power. This type of matchup will result in three different verdicts. Verdict A: character A beats a weakened character B so badly that even if character B is at full power, he will still lose. Verdict B: character A beats weakened character B, but will lose to character B if he's at full power. Verdict C: character A is such a bum that he loses to a weakened character B, so he loses to a prime character B even harder. The community seems to believe verdict A is the result of this battle, but is that true? Let's find out. Since this is an unfair fight where one of the characters is weakened and that character being the TV Titan, let's talk about his injuries. Do they affect him or not? The TV Titan's injuries are his screens being cracked and two holes on his arm and leg. The community argues that his screens being cracked only mean that the TV Titan can't use his red screens on Juggernaut because of Juggernaut's gas mask. I find this argument weird though, since you still have to see through the gas mask and there's no evidence that Juggernaut has some protection for the red screens inside his gas mask. Apart from that, the TV Titan's screens being damaged does actually weaken him. This is because his screens contain core energy, as shown in multiple episodes like 68, 73, 77, and even his first appearance, 67. We can also see energy in his arms in 67 and 69, so when the screens get damaged and there are holes in his limbs, he's leaking out core energy. Now you might think this only affects his attacks that use core energy like his core blast and sword, but it also lowers his physical stats like strength, speed, and durability. This is shown when the TV Titan charges the other two Titans. Let's start with strength. When Titan TV Man charges the camera Titan, you can see Titan camera feeling the energy physically, when they clapped, there's core energy noticeably seen at his hand. For durability, let's look at Titan Speaker Man. After the Speaker Titan kills a toilet, his speakers are noticeably about to fall off, but after the TV Titan charges him, the speakers start to put back in place. Lastly, for speed, the camera Titan was able to react to G-Toilet's lasers in 73, and the TV Titan charged it in episode 69. But in episode 65, he was unable to react to the fake G-Toilet's lasers twice. Although it was off-screen, the camera Titan was also able to react to Detainer during his off-back in episode 70. G-Toilet couldn't react to Detainer's doors in episode 72, yet he was able to react to lasers twice, which the camera Titan in episode 65 failed to do so. If you want another example, just take a look at the Speaker Titan. Compared to in episode 58, he shoots faster and spins faster in episode 70. So in conclusion, core energy does affect these physical stats, which makes sense. They are powered by core energy. So since his screens are cracked and there are holes in his limbs, the TV Titan is leaking a lot of core energy, and I will prove how it affects his physical capabilities. So the TV Titan was indeed weakened in his battle against Juggernaut. Now that we got that part away, I need to talk about another argument that has been spread to the community like wildfire, and this argument is extremely retarded. Before we get to the fight, I want to talk about the notorious argument that's often brought up in this topic, that being Juggernaut was holding back. I think you can tell that I obviously disagree with this. This retarded argument of Juggernaut holding back comes from three things. 1. He was part of the plan to keep the TV Titan alive so he could be taken control of. 2. He went from two-shotting the TV Titan shield to lay on one tapping hit. And 3. His dialogue where he says, "Stay down, resistance is futile, and soon you will meet your fate," worse than death. For the first line, when Juggernaut says stay down, he basically means stay there, and the resistant part is referring to the alliance another TV Titan should have played dead instead of attacking him. For the second line, can you prove this refers to his infection? Let's talk about another argument, which is, although it's uncommon, I need to address it. There have been people saying that Juggernaut did not charge his punches at the start of the fight, and only did so later on as his hand wasn't spinning, which would mean he was holding back. These are the same people that will bring out the shield argument and that the TV Titan was set flying in the later half of the fight, whereas it was only pushed back in the first half of the fight to solidify their point. However, Juggernaut's hand did spin when he was trying to get the TV Titan off him, and it did zero fucking damage to his body. The TV Titan was only sent flying because of the momentum Juggernaut built up when flying towards him. For the shield argument, his shield uses energy from his core like Titan Caramel and G Toilet, so that's just Titan TV Man losing more core energy over time, which is shown by the purple fires in his body and energy leaking from it. Not to mention the screens being cracked, which earlier on in the video I proved this already. Lastly, the plan to control the TV Titan was made by Astro Assailant and Astro Duchess. We have no idea if Juggernaut was part of their plan, but it's more likely that he wasn't based on his dialogue, facial expressions, and actions in battle. After he punches off the main TV screen, Juggernaut says underwhelming slaughter, and slaughter means kill, meaning he basically confirmed his intention the entire fight was to kill the TV Titan, which is pretty much shown right before this as he was mocking the alliance after he thought he killed him. For his facial expressions, you can see Juggernaut glaring before the fight even starts, and after he realized his weapon got stolen. It makes sense that he would be pissed off at this time, since 2 episodes before this, his kid just died, I think, if not severely injured. Juggernaut also uses his cannon against the TV Titan, which would have killed him with a single blast. I'll give more details on this later on, but yeah, Juggernaut was not holding back at all for the entire fight. Now let's move on. Now, I'm not going to make a commentary on the entire fight because you can just watch it. So what I'm going to do is talk about how both characters fared against each other. Let's start with Titan TV Man. People say that the only damage inflicted on Juggernaut is his eye, but that's not true. Before that, his sword was also able to pierce through Juggernaut's arm and body, and it's not just the sword he inflicted damage with, he also damaged Juggernaut with his core. After stabbing Juggernaut's eye, Titan TV Man uses his core and burns his helmet with it. We can see fires on it, one of them being purple, which is the core energy for the TV Titan. Titan TV Man also damages him by snatching Juggernaut's blaster away and firing at him. Even though Juggernaut protected himself with his shield, he still took a bit of damage from it because you can see fires and energy leaking from his body. As for Juggernaut, for the first half of the fight, he did absolutely nothing to the TV Titan. His punches couldn't damage Titan TV Man's body, nor could he do anything to his already cracked screens, which are weaker than his main body, especially when they're damaged. And we prove how Juggernaut was not holding back at all. Juggernaut only started to do shit to Titan TV Man when his guard was down, and even then, he only punches out the side screen, doing no damage to the body, nor to the shoulder screen that he punched off. After that, Juggernaut only damages the TV Titan by ripping off his weapons like the Detainer's arm and the shoulder claws. Mind you, Juggernaut could only do this when Titan TV Man's guard was down, and he still fails to damage the main body. So damage-wise, Titan TV Man can damage Juggernaut, whereas Juggernaut can only damage the TV Titan when his guard is down. What about speed? Well, Titan TV Man literally Perception Blitzes Juggernaut on screen twice. First time was he swung his sword at the beginning, and the second time was when he dived towards Juggernaut. Juggernaut was shown to be unable to react to both of these attacks. Now, there are some people who say that Titan TV Man also attacked Juggernaut when his guard is down, which, while that is true, the examples given were not the correct one. Titan TV Man pulling out Detainer's claw and snatching Juggernaut's blaster are not off-guard attacks. Off-guard attacks are things you cannot physically react to, and Juggernaut could react to both of these said off-guard attacks by raising his shield up. Revealing the Detainer claw is just Titan TV Man's battle IQ, and Juggernaut's blaster being stolen is just more proof that Juggernaut was Perception Blitzed by the TV Titan, because it literally happened right in front of his ass. And there are some people who also say to try to refute this by saying he was stunned, which this isn't true. He got out like almost instantly, so he was not stunned at all. Juggernaut was only able to beat the injured Titan TV Man but when his guard was down. So this pretty much implies that Juggernaut is below injured Titan TV Man, as Juggernaut needs his guard down in order to beat him. There are people who argue that Astro Juggernaut only did this to avoid taking as much damage as possible, but considering he chose to block his arm instead of dodging it despite having the reaction speed to do so, that doesn't seem like it. So in conclusion, the TV Titan can damage Juggernaut with his own attacks and can Perception Blitz Juggernaut to either take the weapon or just damage him straight up, whereas Juggernaut could only do anything to an injured Titan TV man when he's off-guarded. Since an injured TV Titan could beat Juggernaut, it would be logical if Titan TV man at full power would also defeat Juggernaut. To further back my point, let's look at some on-screen showings regarding these two. Let's address another retarded claim in the community, that being Juggernaut tank has orb. I don't even know how the fuck you can get that conclusion at all. Like G-Toilet, Juggernaut scales below his shield as he's shown to be dashed by attacks that don't affect his shield at all. A punch from G-Toilet could punch out bits of Juggernaut's body as seen by the debris flying out of the area when it was being pummeled, yet two of G-Toilet's punches couldn't dent Juggernaut's shield at all. G-Titan's lasers are another example of this, as when Juggernaut was hit by them, debris flew and fires emerged from his body, while the shield seemed fine when hit by the lasers. Since the shield got one shot by the cannon, that would mean Juggernaut himself also gets one shot by his own cannon. I mean, this makes sense as Juggernaut still took a bit of damage even with his shield up, and was shown to be afraid of his cannon's orb that immediately temporary to attack the TV Titan when his guard was down in order to win. Now, why does this matter, you ask? Juggernaut's cannon is known to be one of the most powerful weapons in the series as of now due to the fact that any shield that comes in contact with the orb gets disabled instantly for a short period of time, and one of the shields that got disabled was G-Toilet's shield. Well, guess who else disabled G-Toilet's shield? I think it's pretty obvious. It's the TV Titan, and he actually performs the feat better than Juggernaut did. Juggernaut's cannon one-shot a smaller shield from G-Toilet, whereas Titan TV one-tap a larger shield from a moving G-Toilet, so he also has to overpower the kinetic energy G-Toilet is producing while flying. Mind you, he also wasn't at full power at this time since his left shoulder screen was destroyed, so he still did get energy, but not as much compared to in episode 77, where all of his screens are damaged, meaning he'll be losing a fuck ton of core energy. Now you might be wondering, since when does size affect his defensive capabilities of the shield? Wasn't G-Toilet weakened when the TV Titan disabled his shield? Wouldn't the spin Titan TV man down earlier and his sword strike? Didn't Juggernaut physically disable G-Titan's shield in Season 25? Whose shield should logically be stronger than the one Titan TV man disabled in Season 24, and thus Juggernaut should scale to his web cannon's ore as well? Well, here's my answer. While G-Toilet was obviously weakened in Season 24, none of the damage on his body affects the core itself, which creates his shield as the 4.0 body is not powered by core energy like the 5.0 body. This is shown by the fact G-Toilet is able to increase the size of his shield at the end of episode 73, which requires more energy to do so. To add on to this, his thrusters and fires on the 4.0 body were orange, not yellow, like the one seen on the 5.0 body in Season 25. Speaking of yellow fires, as I said, they were noticeable on G-Titan's body. This would also mean G-Titan was leaking core energy in Season 25, so his shield could have gotten weaker over time, which seems to be the case, since for the first time where G-Titan activated the shield, Juggernaut couldn't disable the shield with 3 punches. Yet later on, he's able to disable the shield with 3 punches, so it seems likely that it seems to be a high possibility that the shield got weaker over time. If you don't buy this reasoning or because it's weird that G-Titan got much weaker in a short span of time, here's another reason. If you slow the video down, you can see G-Titan deactivating his shield as it was getting smaller before Juggernaut hit it. Now, the size of the shield does actually affect his defensive capabilities. In episode 73, when Titan Cameraman throws an orb at G-Toilet, even though G-Toilet activated his shield, he still got damage. You can see he's missing his bottom left laser. He still got damage because the shield isn't fully activated and fully covering his entire body. Later on, when the camera turned towards another orb, G-Toilet activates his shield and his body is perfectly fine since it's fully activated and can cover his entire body. Now, so size does affect the shield's defensive capabilities. So Juggernaut only disabled a shield that was not fully activated and was weak and was possibly weaker due to core energy leakage. As for the spinning argument, can you put the spin massively and the TV Titan to the point he wouldn't scale to it? Titan TV scales to the sword since the sword is powered by core energy, which scales to the physicals as I proved earlier on in the video, and is shown to be able to take his sword in episode 70, even if it requires him to spin first in order to do the amount of damage. This wouldn't matter since the spin attack would just blitz and one-tap Juggernaut since he got Perception Blitz by an injured TV Titan swing his sword at him. Not to mention, Vegeta was shown to be constantly avoiding his sword and Titan TV Man himself at close quarters in episode 73 and season 24, where despite having his shield on, he still resists or avoids getting hit by it. So you can argue Vegeta isn't confident his shield can take the sword, which proved to be true. Back to the cannon, since it's weaker than the sword that the TV Titan scales to, the cannon, well, it might still be able to dash him, but not to the point where he's severely crippled. Also, regardless if you're talking about the 77 version or the 67 to 74 version, the cannon wouldn't be able to land a hit on it on the TV Titan in the first place. In episode 77, Titan TV Man shown able to reflect Obliterator's orbs to the side, and since he can react to those orbs which are faster than the orb Juggernaut's cannon creates, he can simply just do the same in this scenario. In 71, his sword could generate a shockwave that can push back rockets. Granted, we never see this if it can do the same for orbs, but I don't see why it can't when he shouldn't be able to reflect orbs in episode 77. It's even worse if you're talking about Titan TV Man in episode 77, since he now has a Detainer Claw, which he can just simply use to catch the orb and throw it back at Juggernaut, which is what he did in their fight. Basically, Juggernaut's only way of actually damaging the Titan TV Man at his full power is just negated by his defenses. Now we got the extra details out of the way, let's just do a recap. Juggernaut, an injured TV Titan can damage Juggernaut and Possession blitz him twice to inflict damage or steal his blaster, while Juggernaut couldn't even damage Titan TV Man's cracked screens, let alone his main body, which is more durable than those already damaged screens. Juggernaut could only do shit by targeting the TV Titan's weapons when his guard was down. Him having to attack Titan TV Man when his guard is down implies he cannot take him on a hit-on confrontation. So if he's below injured Titan TV Man, he should logically be below Prime Titan TV Man as well, which is consistent as Titan TV Man, who still wasn't even at full power in season 24, can one-time a larger shield from a flying G-Toy, meaning he has to overpower the kinetic energy G-Toy is producing when flying. I already proved how the size of the shield affects the defensive capabilities. This is better than Juggernaut's cannon that one-shot a smaller shield from a stationary G-Toilet. The same cannon is shown to one-shot Juggernaut's shield, which is the bird Juggernaut himself, as it was unaffected by G-Titan's punches and lasers. These both attacks are able to damage Juggernaut himself, so the cannon also just one-shot Juggernaut too. The TV Titan performed the same feat but better than the weapon that one-shot Juggernaut, and he can always Perception Blitz Juggernaut twice when he's injured, so he's just going to Perception Blitz Juggernaut even harder and one-shot him. Juggernaut already couldn't physically harm an injured TV Titan directly, nor could he damage him with his cannon as Titan TV Man scales to the stronger weapon, and depending on which version they're talking about, he can just reflect the orb with his sword or throw it back at Juggernaut with Detainer's arm. Looks like the verdict the community thought it was, which was verdict A, is wrong and was in fact verdict C. Injured Titan TV Man would beat Juggernaut with medium difficulty, and Titan TV Man at full power just one-shots him. That's pretty much it, and for those who stuck all the way to the end, I appreciate y'all for watching. If this video performs well, I will do more of these long form videos on Skibidi Toilet inverse power scaling. I will have a few ideas planned, where one of them is the other fight I said I want to talk about at the start of this video. Please like, subscribe, follow my TikTok account, the link will be in the description and the pinned comment, and share this video around. Bye. This video was a pain in the ass to make, my god.